Welcome, one and all, to Pacific414 Movie Review. That's right. This movie, first thing I'm going to say about it is it gets you in the feels. It really does. It gets you in the feels, but in a good way. And, you know, the characters that are introduced, they're not annoying. They don't take away from the story. They don't get on your nerves. You are given a backstory, which in a lot of ways, in my opinion, makes sense concerning the fact that the story does revolve around a certain character who is no longer with us. But again, like I said, the story does revolve around Egon and his family. And really, I'm going to tell you, this movie, the first thought that came to my mind after it was all said and done is beautiful. This movie, it's beautiful. I know some people who will watch it in the next few days or next few weeks may not feel the same way I do, and I understand that. I'm not expecting anybody to feel the same way I do coming out of this movie or even going into this movie. But I will say that this movie, they did it right. They absolutely did it right. And like I said, the new characters, they don't take away from the story. They don't get on your nerves. They don't get annoying. They add to the lore. We catch up with some old friends. Not going to say who, although I'm sure if you checked IMDb and a few other places, you can find out who's in the cast. And it's pretty well known who's in the cast for this movie. But this movie, one thing I am going to say right here, right now, is if you get a chance to go see it and you get a chance to go see it with some friends, do it. That's all I'm going to say. Do it. This movie makes 2016 look like it never happened. Makes it look like it never happened. It didn't matter because what this story focused on in this movie mattered. It mattered so much. And, someone's gonna, probably wonder, how was Paul Rudd? Paul Rudd was Paul Rudd. How was the actress that played the mother? She was good. How was... Oh gosh, no, my mind's blanking on her name. Mackenzie, well, that girl from Stranger Things that plays Phoebe, she was good. The kid that plays her brother Tyler, good. The kid that played the character Podcast, good. character, the actress that played Lucky, good, because they did their parts well. And I I, I just want to say that I didn't go into this movie with very high expectations because of what happened with the 2016 Ghostbusters. But part of me was still telling myself, have faith that at least somebody knows what they're doing. At least somebody will give you a story where you can go, yeah, that would make sense for that particular character to do it. You may not like it, but it makes sense for that particular character because the story that happens in this movie makes sense. It does make connections to Ghostbusters 1, obviously. Obviously, from what we've seen in the trailers, we've seen the connections to Ghostbuster 1, and it does make some connections to Ghostbusters 2, and doesn't look at Ghostbusters 2 and pretty much disregard it. It acknowledges those movies in its own way. Now, what was it like watching the movie at the theaters? Well, that's where you should be watching it. Go out to the movie theater and watch this movie. I will say, I enjoyed the buildup for the story. I'm glad they took their time building up the story in this one. It didn't feel rushed at any time. Yes, there are some Easter eggs in this movie. I will acknowledge that. There are Easter eggs. But that's a given, especially when you look at who's producing the movie and who's directing the movie. Of course, there's going to be Easter eggs, callbacks to the first two movies. So yes, that was very well done in my own view. Someone else, like I said, may have a different view than I, and that's perfectly all right. But this movie, its story, and the way it all ties together, it's done beautifully. Like I said at the beginning, my first thought leaving the auditorium, leaving the movie theater, was this movie is beautiful. Are there some flaws? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. And maybe I'm looking at it through rose tinted glasses, but I really enjoyed this movie. I really did. And even my friend and I, we looked at each other and said, this movie is worth seeing again. It's definitely worth seeing again. I am going to go see it again. I mean, like, as you can see, I was ready for it wearing my Ghostbusters shirt, and I know I'm not the only one. But honestly, if I was going to give this rating, you know, best of 5, I'm going to give it a 4. I know that's low. There are some things that I thought they could have done better, but again, as I posted on my Twitter page and I posted in Discord, I am trying to give you this review without revealing any spoilers. The main reason I put possible spoilers in the beginning was because I know how I can be sometimes, giving away spoilers. Or if I'm doing an episode review, I tend to give away a lot of spoilers. But for this, no. I am gonna highly recommend it. I really do want you to go see this for yourself and make your own judgment, your own opinion on this movie as to whether you think it's good, whether you think it's beautiful. Especially, I'll say those last 15 minutes are very special. Family. Sorry. This movie is about family. Plain and simple, this movie is about family. And just how much they mean to each and every one of us. That's what this movie is truly about: family and finding those lost connections to family members, and you know, realizing that maybe they do things to protect you. They do things for the family because it's necessary. I'm not going to say what it is. You'll find out in the movie. But I know you guys will probably give this video a thumbs down because you think I'm just giving it a good review because it's a Ghostbusters movie. Maybe, but maybe once you see the movie, you'll realize where I'm coming from. You'll realize that the kids and how they're introduced, it's not annoying how the situation is introduced where they find themselves in Somerville. You know, it fits with the story. And all I have to say is that the character of Phoebe, well done. Absolutely well done. And you'll figure out, you'll figure it out for yourself who she's representing in that movie. Was this movie woke? I didn't notice it. And maybe again, maybe because I'm looking at this movie through rose-colored glasses. But I didn't find anything that I disliked about this movie. I didn't find anything that I could say, I wish they had done this better. I wish they had done that better. Because I went in there with an open mind. Expectations weren't set too high, but what I got was a movie fitting of the Ghostbusters legacy. And, I will say it was nice to see Annie Potts again. It was nice to see, Bill Murray again. It was nice to see Ernie Hudson. It was nice to see Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver again. And it was nice to get to know these new characters and what became of the Ghostbusters legacy after all was said and done. One thing I will say is that the movie does mention, I'm sure many of you already know, this movie takes place 30 years later. So 30 years, most likely after Ghostbusters 2. But, there's explanations as to why things happened the way they did. And when you see those last 15 minutes of the movie, not to say that, just watch the movie for those last 15 minutes. No, watch the whole movie and enjoy the whole movie. But those last 15 minutes, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, do I think Harold Ramis would be proud of this movie? I don't know. I can't speak for Harold Ramis. I can speak for myself, saying I would be proud of this movie if I was part of this movie. And Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman, and the writers, producers should be very proud of this movie. Will we get a sequel to this movie? I don't know. I don't know. But I tell you what I do know, and I've already mentioned it. I am going to go see this movie again. I I want to go see this movie again. I probably won't go again this weekend. Will probably let it sit for a while, and then if you all want me to give, a spoiler review on it, well, just let me know in the comments section of this video and I can do that. But I want to wait and do anything like that until people have had a chance to see it, because maybe we can do a panel and have a few people on and we can all discuss this movie. What we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, we're all going to have different points of view, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. But I really enjoyed this movie, and I highly recommend it to anybody who was skeptical of seeing another Ghostbusters film, especially after Ghostbusters 2016, go see this movie. Go see this movie because, like I said, the kid characters aren't annoying. Paul Rudd is Paul Rudd. Let me just put it that way. Paul Rudd is Paul Rudd. Carrie Coon, who played the mother, she wasn't bad for the time that she's in the movie. And, you know, the brother Trevor was, typical teenage brother. And the girl Lucky, typical teenage girl, love interest. And of course, the only thing I will say about Phoebe is there's a lot of Egon in her. So that's all I will say. I won't say how, because I want you to go see it. And I want you to make up your own mind, whether you like it or not. Don't just take my word for it. Go see it for yourself. But I will say, if you do find yourself coming out of that movie saying, I really enjoyed that movie, it was beautiful, well, then that's your take. If you come out of that movie going, it could have been better, well, again, that's your take. But as for me, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great, and I'm glad I went and saw it. I truly am. I could have, decided, nah, I'm not going to go see it, but I went and saw it. I went and saw it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much, and I'll be honest, getting myself warmed up for this movie, I did rewatch Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 just to, get myself in the mood. And then, of course, yes. Only thing I will say is that the song is in there. The song is in there. Not going to say when it's in there, but it's in there. But, you know, just hearing some of the familiar sound effects again in this movie, seeing the Ecto 1 in this movie, it was great. It was great because you can't have a movie without the original Ecto 1. And, seeing Janine, yes, when you see her, it brought a smile to my face just to see these characters again. And I hope that's what this movie does for you, because I'll be honest, I don't want to keep this review going on too long, because if I keep it going too long, then I'm bound to spoil it. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But I will say that I hope for some of you that you come out of the movie whenever you see it and you go, that was beautiful. And if you don't like it, well, again, like I said, that's your opinion. So, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'll say it right now, 4.5 out of 5 stars. And would I go see it again? Oh, I've said it multiple times already. Yes, I would. Yes, I would go see it again. And I do highly recommend this movie to you, because it just ties everything together, and it does it well in my mind. And also, I want to clarify, well, by today's movie standards, considering what we have seen in the past of certain movies, Ghostbusters 2016, I I didn't like it. I'm sorry, and it has nothing to do with the fact that there were female Ghostbusters. It just wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a good movie. The comedy wasn't funny, and the whole premise of the movie wasn't good. This movie, like I said, it's beautiful. This movie is beautiful. There are jokes in there, but it also does, go back to the original Ghostbusters with a serious tone. So that was nice to see again. So, like I said, I'm keeping this short. And 4.5 out of 5 stars. I know I said 4 stars earlier, but 4.5 out of 5 stars. See, I keep changing my rating. I'll probably say it's 5 stars after seeing it again, but I will say go and see it. Short and sweet, go and see it. And if you like this review and you'd like me to do a spoiler review, and when I do the spoiler review, we can have a panel of different people who have seen it, and we can all give our points of view on the movie. Well, then I welcome that. So until next time, this has been Mike for Pacific414 Movie Review. And who you going to call? Ghostbusters. Take care, everyone. Oh, and also, I do want to let anybody know who's watching this on the replay here on Thursday, November 18th, 2021, that I will be on Goggles and Gadgets tonight at 9:30 Eastern. I have been invited to take part in the panel, and I am looking forward to it. So catch me there. Until next time, take care, and I will see you all later. Da 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 da.